How we doing out there, Big Orange Nation? This is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Was able to get a little bit of time in here to get a video in for the day. Going on day 6 of no power here in the upstate of South Carolina. But I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Get this uploaded and see if I can get some stuff in later on today. Hopefully today's the day to get power back. We'll see. But fortunately, I do have a generator able to get a little bit going in. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for staying patient with me during this time as I work to get everything back up and running, going. But as always, appreciate all your support. Tennessee baseball this week, Monday and Tuesday, have had 2 intra-squad scrimmages. They'll have a third one today. And then I think from my understanding, they'll go more this weekend as well. Today, I'm really interested to see what comes out of the scrimmages. I'll have thoughts on that later on this evening once I hear or read something on that. But Ben McKee, 24/7 Sports, Ryan Shumpert, Rocky Top Insider, both were on hand for the first 2 scrimmages, provided notes, details, stats on those. Appreciate those guys for passing that along. But, some stuff that's stood out to me through the first few days. Of course, pitching-wise, on Monday, Liam Doyle went, according to Shumpert and McKee. And then I had somebody message me as well about it. Doyle looked very good on Monday. He was brought in from Ole Miss. The Ole Miss transfer brought in to be, I think, an important part of this rotation. 2 innings, gave up 1 hit on Monday. It's going to be hard to keep him out of the rotation. I feel he's going to be one of your 3 weekend guys on it. Andrew Fisher brought, so this was interesting to me on Andrew Fisher. I did my kind of my 5 questions going into fall ball. And one of them's, where does Fisher play? Through 2 scrimmages so far, he is showing his work strictly at third base. So my thought was probably first base or left field, just based on with Curley, with Antigua, with Gavin Keelan coming in from Louisville, being better defensive players than Fisher last year. But it looks like this is a Billy Amick situation where, Billy Amick come from Clemson to play third base, and he played third base. Andrew Fisher came from Ole Miss to play third base, and it looks like he's going to play third base at Tennessee, barring something different. Now, could he play somewhere else? Yes. But he had a home run on Monday. Yesterday, the stats on him, I think it said he was, let me see if I can find that here. He went, this is according to Ben McKee and his stats. Where is Fisher? I lost him here. 0 for 1. He had a run and a walk yesterday. So he batted on down the order. They're batting guys, seems to me like a little more up to get more at bats. Your Hunter Insleys, your Fishers. These guys are hitting lower. You know what you've got with them. But some interesting takeaways for me from the scrimmages have been, of course, Doyle, pretty good. Elsewhere, pitching-wise, I don't think anything, based on the stats I've seen, nothing's really stood out. Now, I do know I saw Andrew Banky, Marcus Phillips, both gave up a couple runs each. Yesterday, it looked like it was more of your JUCO and redshirt freshman guys. Not a lot the offenses stood out. The pitching yesterday, they gave up 10 runs. Looks like 10 earned runs based on what I'm seeing here. And looks like Dane Bjorn had a scoreless 2 innings. 1 K, only gave up 1 hit. That's pretty good for him. The JUCO guys, Sharman, Breedlove, both looked like they had a little bit. Sharman had 3 Ks. Breedlove went 1 1/3, gave up a grand slam. Brooks Wright, freshman catcher out of Knox Bearden. They said he hit 1 a mile off of Breedlove. Cleared all the decks out in left field. I've heard some pretty good things about Brooks Wright, actually. Pretty good catcher. Seems like could make for a good baseball player here in Knoxville. Guy who doesn't get a lot of love so much in this recruiting class that's coming in. But from what I've heard, this guy looks like he's going to make a pretty good baseball player for Tennessee. But guys who've stood out to me, my takeaways on what I'm reading, passed on. Hunter High. He is, I think he's listed as a sophomore coming into this season. Let me go to my roster here. He is definitely a sophomore. Now, he is a guy, he's 6 foot, right at 200, according to utsports.com. Through his first couple days, I think he had a home run on Monday, 2 for 2 yesterday as well. So here's a guy who is kind of taking advantage of opportunities. Played right field. yesterday. He can play in the outfield. He's a versatile guy, so he can play. He's listed on utsports.com as an infielder. So the fact that he can play possibly some first base, some left field, some right field, because those spots are wide open, especially left field. I think Reese Chapman will have the leg up for right field. That left field spot's wide open. They've been working numerous guys out there. Hunter High is taking advantage of opportunities right now. He's hitting well. Ariel Antigua is hitting well, 3 for 4 through 2 scrimmages. The thing is, with him, here's the interesting aspect. I think, based on what I'm reading, the first base job, Dalton Bargo's been working there. Dalton Bargo worked some at catcher yesterday. So he can work, different places. Dalton Bargo is a versatile guy. My screen kind of froze up on me. I didn't know if I was losing power or what. So I apologize on that. But Bargo's playing multiple positions. He did that last year. Some Hunter High can play multiple positions. I've read about Alex Perry. I've talked about him numerous times. He was a JUCO guy last year when he signed. Didn't play a whole lot, but Tony Vitello mentioned him numerous times. He's going to have a real shot to be somewhere in this lineup. But you could say this about numerous guys. The catching competition, Cannon Peebles. I think he's going to be your odds-on favorite to win that job. But Stone Lawless was a guy. I mentioned him a lot last year. A guy highly thought of due to their depth at catcher, though he wasn't needed last year, so he was redshirted. So he comes in this year. He's a guy. He's hitting well in the scrimmages. I think I saw that he threw somebody out yesterday in the scrimmage. If I'm not mistaken, I know Chris Newstrom did. That's a guy I've not mentioned a lot that needs more mention on here. I'll talk more about him in a minute. Lawless is hitting it. He played some first base yesterday. He could DH. You got to think with a bat like that, if he's hitting like that, he's going to be hard to keep out of the lineup. I mentioned Levi Clark. I was told this point blank, this dude's bat's going to be hard to keep out of the lineup. He went 1 for Monday. Yesterday, I saw where Clark went. I had him here just a minute ago. He caught and DH. He was 0 for 1. He got on with the catcher and interference. Looks like he was caught stealing. An interesting one to me is Braden Sharp. He pitched Monday. He hit yesterday. So he is, looks like still, he was listed as a pitcher outfielder. Looks like that's still the case right now, that he could be a dual guy coming in. That's pretty interesting to me where he factors in. Pitching wise, the numbers didn't look too good on Monday. Now, the numbers don't always tell you everything, but we'll see where it goes down the line. Andrew Fisher, again, home run Monday. Looks to me like Andrew Fisher's the third baseman. That middle infield now, Dean Curley's been playing shortstop. Gavin Keelan's been playing shortstop. Ariel Antigua has been playing second base. I still say that there's not a better shortstop on this team than Ariel Antigua. I don't care what they say, but doesn't mean he's going to be the shortstop here. So it's looking like it's possibly either going to be Curley or Gavin Keelan at short, and maybe the other at second. But if Ariel Antigua keeps hitting like he is, what are you going to do? That's why I've said coming into this is going to be, especially at infield, is going to be a knockdown drag out. There is so much talent on this infield. And, some of these freshmen coming in, Chris Newstrom, as a guy I mentioned, very versatile. I was told about him. He can play. He can play short. He can play third. He can catch. Where can he not play at? He caught a guy stealing. I think I saw he caught Jay Abernathy stealing yesterday, which, based on what we're hearing about Jay Abernathy's speed, is very, very impressive. So Chris Newstrom's a guy. I think he was around where was he at? 120 coming in. Heard some real good things about him. Could be a guy to factor. Jay Abernathy's a dude. Top 100 guy come in. It was thought, will he make it to campus? He's on campus. He's been playing more outfield. He can play infield. He was listed as an infielder coming in. They say his speed is just phenomenal. And he's hit good through the first couple scrimmages. On Monday, it said he got a double, stole third base, and then he got home on a throwing error by Cannon Peebles. So this is a guy possibly who could get in and wreak some havoc on the base pass, especially with that left field being wide open with it. I mentioned Hunter High. Alex Perry has played some first base. I mean, you got to factor, not me even mention this guy, Colby Backus, but for me with Colby Backus, yeah, it's great if you can hit midweek pitching, but when you get on the weekend, if you're like a deer in headlights, you're not going to factor in. That's the way he was last year. And I'm just being honest about that because we saw it when Hunter Inslee got pulled out in Omaha. Backus went to center field. He come up in some situations and wouldn't take the bat off his shoulders. He looked like a deer in headlights up there. If Colby Backus is going to make a difference on this team, he's got to learn to do it against that big-time pitching. All right? I mean, again, midweek's great. Weekend, non-conference, great. But if you can't do it against the big boys, you're not going to do it on this team. And you're not going to see it on that lineup. And I hope he takes that next step. Of course, another freshman to keep in mind, Manny Marin has played. He's played some second. I've read where he is impressed at third base as well. So he's another versatile guy. Where does he factor in this year? Highly regarded prospect, but is there a log jam there? But to think you got to factor in with Fisher, Curley, and Keelan, you got to think all three of those guys are gone after this year. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity there next year. So if it's some of these young guys, if you don't get that opportunity this year, stay patient and hang in there. There's plenty of opportunity going to be there next year if you don't carve out that niche for yourself this year. I mentioned Levi Clark, a guy hit good on Monday. Blake Grimmer's a guy I saw he played third base for the Orange team yesterday, 1 for 2, had a run scored. I'm trying to see any other guys down the line. Holden Bronner's a guy I think saw Monday. He hit a home run. I think that's kind of where you're at right now. They've been hitting 11. Looks like they hit 12 guys on each team yesterday, according to Ben McKee's report on GoVols 24/7. Today's, I'm really curious to see. I know Tegan Coons goes today. I got to think you're getting into Nate Snead, Dylan Loy. I'm wondering Tanner Franklin, Tanner Wiggins. I'm curious to see some of these guys go, if they go today or if they save some of them for the weekend. I know Coons goes today. I've seen that numerous places. I'll be curious to see because I know he's made a big impression in Knoxville right now. Based on everything I'm reading and hearing, Coons is going to be really hard to keep out of that rotation. I don't know what the order of it will be. I expect Liam Doyle in one spot. I expect Coons in the other one. Who will be the third guy? That's my picks going in. Could it be a Tanner Franklin? I've seen him mentioned. I've got to see that. I'm real curious on that one. I know last year at Kennesaw State he had one long outing, and it was pretty good. His walks concern me. Can he fix the walks? Does Dylan Loy get that opportunity? Is it Nate Snead? Arvidsson, the transfer, originally went to Texas A&M, went JUCO and come in, had a pretty good outing on Monday. I really think Doyle and Coons are going to be locks. I think those two are going to be locks for the rotation. Who's that third guy? But just wanted to pass away some takeaways from it. Got a little bit of time here. Got a little bit of sustained power on the generator right now. So, Hayda wasn't able to get any Lady Vols softball or any basketball. And really, there's not anything that stood out to me football-wise. I could regurgitate the same things that everybody else is saying right now, but you're seeing it elsewhere. You don't need to come here to see the same thing. But I will pass along the baseball stuff as well because this is primarily a baseball channel. And that's what we're building to, trying to be the best baseball channel there is out there. But thank you guys again for your support and your patience during this time. Just stick with me here. Stick with me. If power gets back on, we may try to go live tomorrow night, but who knows when that's going to happen here. Could be the weekend before we see any more power, but we'll keep on keeping on as we always do. Thank you guys for your support. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.
Everyone rejects me.